Police have to deal with all sorts of criminals every day. But what happens when they have to deal with millionaires who think that they're above the law? Here are 3 instances when millionaire Karens believed that laws don't apply to them. We begin with the dramatic case of this woman who was reported having an aggressive argument with her husband at a local hotel. On June the 25th of 2022, officers responded to a report of this domestic dispute, and upon arrival, they immediately saw a female in a white dress standing barefoot in the parking lot.
Did you call 911?
No.
Okay, because someone called saying that you were getting beat up.
Ew. Who would do that?
Were you with someone?
I'm from New York. I don't get beat up.
Hey, I believe you, but were you just with someone?
No.
No?
No.
The officer went up to the woman and asked several times if someone had hurt her physically and questioned her involvement in any argument, which the woman then denied. After receiving no substantial information from the female, the officer left to locate the other person who was involved in the argument. Meanwhile, another officer received confirmation from a witness that the woman was in fact involved.
I don't know who them is, but them did not call.
I make good decisions. I make good decisions to make better for myself. There's my ID.
By now, the way that she was behaving made officers certain that the woman was part of the argument in question. While the officer was busy investigating the female, a man passed by, and the woman began yelling at him because he was the same witness who had seen the dispute and called the police in the first place.
What I'm saying is, this is my job. You got a bunch of pigs.
It was you?
I know you need to do shit.
Oh my God. Okay, homeless. All right. Go get a job.
As the woman continued talking with the 2 officers, the other officers began interrogating her husband, and while questioning her husband, he firmly denied any involvement in any kind of disturbance.
I did not do anything.
However, upon hearing this, the female began yelling at her husband and became even more disruptive, at which point the first officer handcuffed her.
Stop.
What am I doing?
Relax your arms.
Relax.
Before you catch another
Guys,
charge.
come on.
The woman continued to resist getting into the police vehicle, repeatedly telling the officers that she donates a lot of charity to the police department, suggesting that she be let off easy.
Seriously, guys, I donate to your Dunwoody Police Department. I'm salon over at Park Place with the lawns. And really, I donate to you.
While the other officers were still interrogating her boyfriend, he kept accusing the police officers of treating his girlfriend rudely.
She has done nothing wrong. She's nothing against me. I did not call anything. I don't know what's going on here. That is wrong.
At the same time, another police officer arrived after questioning other witnesses, who then confirmed that the husband was the other party involved in the disturbance. Upon receiving the witness's confirmation, the police would arrest the boyfriend as well. The happy couple were brought back to the station. However, no further information about their charges have been made public. While she offered very little resistance during her arrest, this next Karen fought back so violently that police had no choice but to pepper spray her multiple times. On November the 24th of 2022, a 38-year-old woman would be caught speeding recklessly while approaching a heavily populated Thanksgiving event.
What is this? I'm trying to get home.
Officers tried to pull over the vehicle, but the driver fled the scene at a high speed, and as the officer caught up to her at a nearby intersection, she immediately sped off again. As soon as the woman stepped out of the car, the officer put her into handcuffs without listening to anything that she had to say and detained her in his cruiser.
Are you kidding me?
Somebody come get your car for you?
No, I don't have anybody. You guys, please don't. I just got a divorce. I'm trying to move. Please don't do this. What are you doing?
As she began screaming and smashing the police car window with her feet and head, the officer approached the car, warning her that if she didn't stop, he was going to use pepper spray on her.
Dude, I live in a $3 million house down the street. Can you write me up?
Hear me this.
My daughter, I'm gonna lose my daughter today.
Listen to me carefully.
Look at this.
If you kick the window,
That's my head. I didn't kick the window.
Whatever you do, you bang your head in the window, but if you don't sit here properly, I'm going to
How long are we doing this for?
You've been warned.
But the woman just kept on screaming about her $3 million home, trying to make the police officers aware that she was very wealthy and would not be treated in this way.
You don't get what I just went through! Like at all! I just want to go home! You don't get it! I went through a 3-year divorce! The fuckface took all my money! I'm fighting for my kid back!
As she showed no signs of stopping and continued to throw a tantrum, another officer came over to the car and tried to calm the woman down.
Calm down.
I need to call my attorney though! Please, I need help! Please, I have the right to have my attorney!
However, as she was still completely disobeying their commands and continued in her attempts to damage the cruiser, the officer had no choice but to pepper spray her and lock her inside of the vehicle.
These assholes! No, you did not!
Get back in the car now. Back in the car. Get back in the car.
At that point, the officer moved towards her car and began searching her belongings for anything suspicious. And despite having faced so many allegations, she was still much more concerned about the Thanksgiving event than she was about her own arrest.
I would be so, officers, I would be so appreciative if you wrote me as many big tickets and write-ups and arrests and just let me not go to jail today. I ruined everybody's plans trying to get me out. If you guys want to drive me to my house and take my car, can I get out of here?
Once more, she then began to hit the car from inside, and as one would expect, the first officer approached and used pepper spray on her yet again. Officers would then transfer her to another vehicle, and while moving her, they began searching her and removing her shoes to prevent any damages to the car.
Somehow it closed on me. Now put your foot in. There you go. Thank you, ma'am. Here, I'm gonna buckle you in.
Why would you do that?
Because you're not behaving yourself.
As she continued to kick and scream, a female officer came to have a chat with her in an attempt to calm her down.
You guys did this.
What I do suggest is that you go find a really good therapist.
I have 17 of them, girl. You don't even know.
They're not working then.
No, they're not. Do you want to know why? Because I was tortured by a narcissist and by the court system for 3 solid years.
However, that female officer's attempts would also prove to be futile, as she eventually left the scene.
I mean, yeah, I definitely feel like a black dude who rode his bike up from the South Trail right now is how you're treating me. And actually, I live in a $3 million house down the street. Yeah? You guys are just jealous too, because you guys make $12 an hour. Probably sucks to be an officer.
This Karen would go on to be charged with 2 counts of felony fleeing and 1 count of resisting, in addition to her car being towed. And despite her over-the-top behavior, thankfully she did not assault any officers involved. Unlike this next case, in which the suspect became violent and kicked the officer while being arrested. On February the 18th of 2023, police were dispatched in response to another domestic dispute, but this time there was a gun involved. When the police went towards the door of the house and knocked, they noticed 2 women sitting at the counter inside, who were either unaware or simply ignoring the presence of the officers. One of the women eventually approached the door, and the officer began his investigation by asking for her personal details.
So basically what happened is we all took mushrooms.
Yep, you said that.
And they freaked out.
Uh-huh.
My husband's fine.
Okay.
I have 3 children there that don't know this.
Okay. I mean,
So
I'm not going to go and tell your children.
Right.
But
So
now
my son
I have other concerns as of now.
After gathering the information, the officer then requested to question her husband alone. However, that woman declined, insisting on being present during everything.
So you're gonna stay here, okay?
No, I won't.
Well,
I will walk with you because
Ma'am,
he probably
ma'am,
doesn't know
ma'am.
that this is happening.
I understand. That's why we knock on doors and ring doorbells. So,
Okay,
but
I'm going to my house. I'm not going to listen to you. You, as a young man, can tell me whatever the you want. I will not do that. I'm going to walk to my house and inform my husband because nothing happened that was weird.
As she continued demanding that she be allowed to accompany her husband for any and all questioning, the officers would reluctantly agree to let her come with them. But as police would soon find out, she had other plans in mind.
That's okay.
And we need to talk to him independently.
Yeah, it's my house, and I will independently.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go.
You can start walking. We'll drive.
All right, let's go. No.
The moment the officers arrived at her house, the woman abruptly ran inside and locked the door, leaving the now confused police officer standing outside.
We're gonna have a problem. You start touching my stuff.
I have a problem if you fucking come into my house.
And after some time of knocking on the door, her husband finally came out. The officers again would request to speak to him alone, but the woman began yelling, insisting on staying with her husband, making it seem as though she had something to hide.
No, this is my husband.
I'm aware of who he is. We need to talk to him alone.
No, I'm here with my husband. I will not be alone.
Less words are better.
The officer eventually separated the man for a private conversation, but the woman followed, leading to a heated argument. Little did the officers know that this argument would soon turn into a physical confrontation.
Okay, I'm asking.
Hey, sir, will you go back home?
That's our neighbor.
Listen.
No, I can't.
Go back.
Back off.
Ma'am, if you don't back away from me right now, you're going to be under arrest.
Effie.
Really?
Yes, you will.
Listen.
I'm telling you right now.
You just arrest people for you're in my house, in my face.
I'm conducting an investigation.
For what?
The situation grew even more hostile when the woman aggressively approached the officer, demanding that he leave her house, to which the officer responded by pushing her back.
I didn't call you. This is my house. I never called you. I'm Greek. Get off my house.
Away from me.
No.
Back away from me.
You just pushed me.
Yes, I did. Back away from me.
You're a policeman that pushed me in my house. You better get off.
All right.
No.
At that point, the officer tried to detain her. However, she resisted and began kicking and pushing him away.
Are you kidding me? Get off me. You're in my house. Get away from me.
You're going to get tased.
No. You get away from me, from my house! Get away!
Eventually, a second officer came to assist in the arrest, taking her to the police vehicle.
Let go of me! Let go of me! You're hurting me! You're hurting me! You are hurting me!
And soon after arresting the woman, the cops were finally able to begin interrogating her husband.
What happened between you and your wife tonight?
I'm asking you. You make it sound like it's a question.
It was a question. I asked you a question.
Yeah, we're all good, bro.
Okay.
However, as soon as the officer tried to speak to him, it was quite apparent by his behavior that he was heavily intoxicated, and by the way that he was acting, most likely didn't want to cooperate with any of them.
All right, sir. We can walk back over here.
Tell me what's going on,
Yep,
man?
absolutely. We can walk back over here and put your hands down. All right. We were over here to investigate a crime. Okay?
Why is she being arrested? Because you came into my house and then you took her down. Let's be honest about what happened. You, sir, are a shameful bastard.
After a heated argument with the husband in which he denied any and all accusations, the police chose to leave him and bring the woman to the police station. She would go on to be charged with resisting arrest and battery on an officer. If you enjoy true crime content like this, make sure you're subscribed to see more.